From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon of Afternoons LALATE with incredible details about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today as the president calls the vote. The vote is about to begin. I'll be going over all the incredible details in this fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today. How much you're going to get, when you're going to get it, and what those Democrats want you to have in this fourth stimulus check. A monthly stimulus check. All the incredible breaking news is in this recording. Then we cut to fifth stimulus that heats up this fall and raises your benefits up lifetime. And the benchmark may go through the roof as inflation is expected to jump to a highest rate ever seen of many generations when they apply that benchmark. I have all the incredible news about that fifth stimulus check update and the fifth stimulus check this fall. Next year, yes, that's heating up as well. Then we'll be cutting to the thousands of dollars of money you can get right now, and viewers continue to get it, and it's your day to get it as well. It's a big afternoon. I'm excited for you. A lot of breaking news. We're going to get to all the details starting right here, starting right now on Afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? How is the weather where you are, and where are you tuning in from? Jump into the live chat right now and tell me where you're watching from and how the weather is. I saw a lot of you were talking about heat waves where you were, and I felt empathy for you. Now I feel it because we're having a heat wave here as well. Oh, Lord, it's just hot. And it's only supposed to be hot today. So let's just wave away that heat wave. By heat wave, it may not wave back, but we're happy to wave away that heat wave. Lord, it's just too hot. It's only, June, for goodness sakes. In this recording, we'll be going over your fourth stimulus check, when you're going to get it, how you're going to get it from those Democrats, what they're envisioning, and the breaking news from the president calling the vote. Incredible, great news. Then we cut to fifth stimulus this fall, and we'll be raising your benefits up lifetime and applying a new benchmark. That benchmark may be the highest you've ever seen of a generation. And there will be another stimulus check around. OMG. And then we cut to the big money in this middle of this videos, money that viewers get every single day. It's your day to get it as well. And with that, first, subscribe. This is LALATE, the only 24-hour-a-day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoons, programming around the clock. I'm next back with you with Evenings LALATE at 5 p.m., followed by Overnight's Crypto. This video takes you automatically to to Evenings LALATE right after this, so stay with it. But first, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. Next stop, 1 million. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video, 3,000 likes. It really helps in the algorithm rankings, and it keeps the heat wave away. Well, I'm just trying that. Hit the like button, and it'll tell the heat wave to go away. And then consider becoming a member. Let's get right into that. Monthly for stimulus from the Democrats in the House and the Senate. Let's compare and contrast. And the excitement starts with the monthly payouts. The House members propose a monthly payout that runs throughout the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The Senate Democrats propose a shorter duration, July to December. So House bill, 1 year plus the pandemic. Senate proposal is July to December. Let's compare the monthly payouts. House, $1,000 a month after the first month of 2000. Senate, amount unknown, but word on the street is the Senate Democrats want you to have this. OMG. Now that's wonderful. That is per person. Yes, that is per person from the Senate Democrats. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. That is per person. But let's go back to the House Democrats and understand the macroeconomics that could modify this. Pandemic plus 1 year? Well, some Democrats believe that the pandemic may be over. That would result in just 1 year, not pandemic plus 1 year. And if that's the case, the House members would be giving you 12 months of stimulus checks, which is $13,000 over 12 months, compared to this from the senators, Over 6 months? Okay. Get ready to vote in the live chat right now. House or Senate? Which one do you like? House or Senate? And tell me where you're tuning in from and how the weather is. I know you have an opinion, so express that opinion right now. Okay, who gets that fourth stimulus check from those Democrats? Well, the Democrats propose everyone who got a third stimulus check gets a fourth stimulus check. Yes. So if you're a single individual, 75,000 or less, Democrats would give you a fourth stimulus check. Married couple, 150,000 or less, Democrats would give you a fourth stimulus check. Double it. Household 4 or less, Democrats would give you a fourth stimulus check, quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or railroad benefits, Democrats would give you a fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check is not income, so it's not taxable. The fourth stimulus check is a monthly stimulus check, so it comes monthly. It does not come in waves. So don't try to wave at the check, because that check is not going to wave back at you. Hi, check, how are you? No, the check's not going to wave back at you. How rude that check is. The fourth stimulus check would be the same amount for everyone, including the people who don't wave back at you. The adult dependents, minor dependents, and everyone across the board. The Democrats represent the fourth stimulus checks would go out in the month of July for the month of July, in the month of August for the month of August. And the Democrats represent the final vote would be July 4th. But what about the first vote? That's coming up in the second of 3 parts of this fourth stimulus check updated 2021 today. As the president calls the vote, I'll be going over the timing of that first of 9 votes in just a second. But here's a preview of the second half of this video. In the second half of this video, we go over a fifth stimulus that raises your benefits up lifetime and applies a new benchmark. But that benchmark we're now seeing is going through the roof and likely will raise your benefits through the roof lifetime. I have this huge element with no less than 2 other breaking news stories coming up in fifth stimulus later in this video. But first, let's get some moolah. Let's get some money. If you have not gotten money yet from this channel, today's your day. I want you to get this big money, and I want to start right now. Get a pen and paper ready, or Crayola crown, so long as it matches what I'm wearing. Get that pen or paper or Crayola ready, because we're going to get a lot of money, because that's what this channel does. I get people money, and there's a lot of money available for you right now. Fortunes, $5, $10, $15, $20,000. What is it? Money for rent, money for utilities, money for mortgage assistance and homeowners utilities, and I want you to get that money right now. And it starts with rent, about $5,000, 4 to 6 months of rent. So you're going to reach out to different places that have different eligibility. Don't worry about that, because each has their different eligibility. One may say no, and the next may say yes. Also, they have their own pots of money. Are you ready? Let's do it. You're going to reach out to City Hall, City Housing Authority, County Hall, County Housing Authority, State Hall, State Housing Authority. Keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID. Rent assistance because of COVID. You could also say mortgage assistance because of COVID. You're not going to say words they don't know, like stimulus or Mark Meadows. Sounds familiar. Do I know him? Don't say words and names they don't know, because they won't be paying you then. And there you go. $5,000 approximately for rent. Tim and Linda got that money. It is wonderful. If you got in a penny from this channel, or 100,000 pennies from this channel, because trust me, I've gotten the whole range for viewers this channel, drop in the live chat, because it inspires me. It inspires someone else. Every time that someone gets a penny or more, it inspires someone else to go get it as well. And let's go over the next pot of money. Boy, one person inspired me this week. They got $5,000. One last week inspired me, got $7,000. What is it? It is money for your incredible SNAP. How do you get it? From Department of Agriculture. Reach out to Department of Agriculture and get that money. It's a lot. It's about $16,000 for a family of 4 in Hawaii. Why so much money? Because of 2 wonderful executive orders, one from Biden, one from Trump, that raised your benefits up 15% between now and December. So go get it. There you go. Very exciting. Lynn Glenn got it for herself, for her son, and her mom. Also, Gail got it. And we are killing it. We're 10 minutes in this video, and we've got to about $16,000 for SNAP, $5,000 for rent. Well, I got more money for you, and starting right now. It is about $5,000 back for the federal government. OMG. What is this? Well, the federal government has identified states as overpaying you unemployment assistance, and they're asking you to return the money due to computer error, not your computer. Your computer works fine. It's their computer. And the federal government has said, nope, return that money back to the citizens? Yes. So one viewer got this money, $5,000. When is it coming? Automatically from your state. How can you track it? Call up your state for individual routing times and ask them how their computers are doing. If their computers still don't work, they may not be able to track it for you. Sort of inside joke there. Anyway, we go to the next spot of money, and it's wonderful. Margaret got it, Cod got it, Michael got it. A lot of viewers are getting it. If you got it as well, drop in the comments. It is the refund back from IRS of your 2020 taxes. It's wonderful. So let's go over the details. How much, when, where, and how to track it. Let's hit it right now. First, about the money. It's a lot. So let's say you had $9,000 of unemployment assistance. You paid $5,000 in IRS taxes last year, of which $4,000 was the taxes on the unemployment. Congratulations, you're getting back a check of $4,000. Where? Direct deposit on the direct deposit account you have on file. Otherwise, in the mailbox. How or when? In the month of June. And can you track it? Yes, about 70% of the time you can. Go to irs.gov, set up a username and password. Go in there and track it. And it'll show 70% of the time the tax return you filed, the taxes you paid, and the refund check you're getting. Oh my goodness, can we top that? We can, and we're doing it right now. The second of 3 parts of your forced stimulus check update of 2021 starts right now. The exciting details is Biden has done it. He has called the vote. Called the vote? Yes, you know about step 9 of the 9 steps of the voting process, calling the vote ending on July 4th with the passage of the reconciliation process. But you've been asking, when does step 1 start? Well, the president has answered our questions. He has called the vote. What happened? Well, the president overseas, meeting with Vladimir Putin in Geneva, clearly was not calmed by the Geneva chocolates and perhaps ramped up by meeting with Vladimir Putin. So something got under his skin, whether it was Vladimir Putin or Ron Johnson. One and the same. No, just kidding. Same person, just different shirt. And one of those two people got under his skin, and he just had it and said, you know what? We're calling the vote starting next week. We're calling the vote, and we're doing the reconciliation with voting starting next week at the early part of the week. We're not waiting around any longer. Well, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. Maybe we should have you meet with Vladimir Putin more often. Maybe we get our reconciliations done faster. Can we just pencil him in to meet with Vladimir in September? Just right when it's time to start the voting. Can you just meet with Vladimir so he gets you really sort of revved up? Go do that recon. I just met with that Putin guy. Mitch, go. Yeah, whatever. I just sense that's what's going on here. So we're going to go over all the incredible news. Yes, let's go over where we are. First, we're under reconciliation. 2, we're finishing recon by July 4th. 3, we're finishing with a passage. 4th, they have been marking up the bill. OMG. One viewer asked, what does marking up the bill mean? Literally what it means, you have a piece of paper, you're marking it up. Marking it up means you're writing on it. They're making edits to it. This is a substantive bill. Lastly, all the Democrats are aligned, including Joe Manchin. No one is maligned. So everyone is on board to pass this. All right, let's go over how we got to this wonderful place, whether it's Vladimir Putin helping us or it's Jalapal. Jalapal got us starting when Jalapal wrote Schumer a letter, and that letter said call the vote shock on the recon. Now, the letter, more importantly, was signed by 12 House Democrats who had previously were among the 100-plus House Democrats who written the president a letter saying, when we do forced stimulus, Mr. President, we're going to put monthly stimulus checks in that forced stimulus package. OMG, now that's wonderful news. Can we top that? We can. When 7 House Democrats wrote the president a letter directly and said, Mr. President, when we write and mark up the language of the forced stimulus check, we're going to put monthly forced stimulus checks into the forced stimulus package. Wow, who are these people to say such a thing? What do they do? What is their position? Well, they're on the subcommittee that's solely and exclusively responsible for writing stimulus checks in the U.S. Congress, House of Representatives. Really? Did they write the first stimulus check? They did. Did they write the second stimulus check? They did. The third? They did. And now they say they're writing the fourth? They claim they are. And they claim they're writing the 5th stimulus as well. That's coming up in the second half of this video. Stay tuned. That's coming up. Exciting details. Well, can we top that? We can. as the President of the United States, before meeting with Vladimir Putin, instead meeting with Boris Johnson and the G7 countries, did an enormous global treaty which anchors forced stimulus right to the edge of the finish line, raising the global minimum corporate tax rate to 15%, and now making it easier to pass the forced stimulus because provisions are no longer needed and they're covered in that international agreement. Biden did it. Wow. Let me explain how we got to that spot. We got to that spot several weeks ago when I told you that on recent Tuesday, the president said something confusing and I needed to slow it down to explain it to you, because that's what I do on this channel, make things that are complicated easy to follow. And what was it? It was the following. The corporate tax rate is being raised in the forced stimulus package to pay for the forced stimulus package. What's a corporate tax rate? Taxes, the rate that corporations pay in the United States for taxes. Pretty easy. So what did the president say at the time? He said he was worried that in raising the corporate tax rate, corporations of the United States may leave the United States and move operations overseas to find a lower corporate tax rate overseas, let's say France. So he had reached out to the G7 countries to have them raise the global minimum corporate tax rate so that businesses would not leave U.S. soils and stay here. And they attentively said yes, good. And the president had then reached out to his legislative staff and said, you know what? I like this. I'll try to get those G7 countries later this year, about around Christmas, have them sign into law that provision after forced stimulus is passed, and then we'll go back and remove those provisions for forced stimulus because we'll no longer need them. Interesting. It was great news. And then he really surprised us. How did he surprise us? Because suddenly someone had the brilliant idea in his staff, or it was him, to decide to have those G7 countries sign it now, to anchor forced stimulus over the finish line. And that's what he did. Last weekend, the president flew overseas for his first international trip and signed into law, as the peg goes flying, the G7 global minimum corporate tax rate higher, which anchors forced stimulus over the finish line and makes it easier to pass forced stimulus because the provisions are no longer needed. They're in the international treaty. OMG, now that is wonderful. As Schumer has confirmed, we're currently under recon. We're finishing recon by July 4th, and we will pass recon. Is there more exciting news than this? It is, and it's coming up in the second half of this video as forced stimulus heats up with more details and calling the vote. I'll be going over all those details and fifth stimulus, but also some exciting great details and great news right now. The volunteers. If you need help with rent, utilities, or mortgage assistance, reach out to the volunteers. They can help you get that money. They're available on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Reach out to them. They're on the community page. Open the description of this video, go down in the description. Find the volunteers, and then reach out to them and they'll help you get that money. And I'll be back in 60 seconds with more exciting details about fourth stimulus and fifth stimulus. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals. Reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Afternoons LALATE with more exciting details about your fourth stimulus, your fifth stimulus, and big developments from the White House. I'm excited for you to join me on a big afternoon. How are you doing? Jump in the live chat right now and tell me where you're watching from and how's the weather. But first, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. The most comprehensive, the most accurate, and the most in-depth analysis of the financial markets across the board daily on this channel. Like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. More about membership in a second, but stay with this video. At the end of this video, it'll automatically take you to Evenings LALATE at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Let's get right into that fourth stimulus and fifth stimulus extra details, starting with fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus has a lot of big, surprising breaking news today. Number one, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell testifying before the Congress today, likely to hold his guns and hold his position that this economy needs support, that the inflation rate he's not going to speculate about, that inflation is good. But here's what you do need to know, is that the inflation rate is a lot more than he is willing to admit. In fact, at this point, everyone understands the inflation rate is a lot higher. More about that in a second. But first, that fifth stimulus check. Will it be another fifth stimulus check? Yes. Will there be another? Will there be a fifth stimulus check? Yes, there will be a fifth stimulus check. House Democrats have now said the fifth stimulus check would start next year and run for next year. Fourth stimulus is for this year. So it's incredible, great news. Next, the incredible surprise about the president dedicating $1 billion to the Social Security Administration Fund. And I think this is perhaps the most exciting news I have seen in a while. For some reason, I don't think viewers are excited as much about this news as I am. Trust me, I saw enough videos recorded on this channel earlier this year about people on SSI and SSDI benefits getting their checks last because the administration was backlogged. President's trying to solve that by dedicating $1 billion to the administration for staffing, for computers, for new administration offices, and so that ensure that people get checks on time, stimulus checks on time, benefits checks on time. We had a lot of videos on this channel about Direct Express by Comerica not sending out your check, or that you're on SSI and your checks come later for stimulus than anyone else. This is ending with this incredible allocation of $1 billion from the president he represents. But that brings us back now to the exciting details about that inflation rate. Well, that inflation rate is expected to skyrocket later this year. Yesterday, the Consumer Price Index got a sister released, the Producer Price Index. There are two numbers released monthly. And what have they collectively shown us in the last 7 days? Inflation is going up. But what changed yesterday? Wall Street analysts now are collectively saying that the inflation rate later this year will not be 1% or 2%. That currently we're at 4%, and that it will be 10% later this year. OMG. This is a big change because you had heard me talking about 2 to 7, 2 to 6. Now they're collectively believing we're at 4 already, and we're going much higher to about 10. That's temporary or transitory, and then from there it comes back down. What you need to know is you have to hope that that peak, that ride up to 10% hits right when they apply your benchmark of benefits in November, December. Let's go over the analysis. So fifth stimulus involves a raising up of your benefits a lifetime. And then they'll apply a new benchmark. That benchmark is inflation. More about that in a second. They'll remove the asset cap and they'll remove the income cap and remove the marriage penalty. Now that you understand the breaking news, let's apply the data. So the first, they're going to raise your benefits up lifetime. Who's that? You. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits. Then every December, they'll apply the benchmark for next year's benefits. Benefits step up or stay the same. They never step down. So let's hope that as that inflation rate goes up from 4% now to like 10% later this year, that it hits that 10% right when they apply it. That would raise your benefits up 10%. But not just next year, lifetime. Because once your benefits step up, they never step down. This is categorically huge. This is astronomical. Every time that I see someone, out of just a personal message, every time I see someone jump into the comments, say, what about the $200 for SSI? Do you understand 10% of raising your benefits lifetime is about 5,000% more money than $200 for 10 months? This is astronomical amount of money. So you have to hope this happens. Now, there's nothing you can do about it because inflation is not something you're impacting specifically. But this is astronomical. The only thing you can do is certainly push those elected officials to make sure they get this passed because this is for stimulus. It's not law yet. Then they're going to remove the asset cap, dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't have more than $3,000 on hand. It's going to go away and you'll be able to have those stimulus checks in your hand. They're going to remove the income cap dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. They're going to remove the marriage penalty so that love is going to win and you'll be able to marry your longtime love interest and finally get your money that you deserve. Viewers like Sandy and Rob will be able to get married and no longer fear the marriage penalty. And there you go. That is fifth stimulus. A lot of money available for you in fifth stimulus. And it's important for you to know what's in third, fourth, and fifth stimulus. Why? Because it's your money. If you're looking at the live chat right now and you see a lot of people with purple hawk emojis next to their name, they're members. By becoming a member, you're sent from me daily from the community page on YouTube a breakdown of everything in third stimulus, fourth stimulus, and fifth stimulus. So you know the money you're entitled to. There's thousands, tens of thousands of dollars under third stimulus that's available for you. That's application based. And if you don't apply for it, you will not get it. So by becoming a member and clicking the link at the top of the chat or the pinned comment, but by becoming a member, you get sent daily from me a breakdown of everything in third, fourth, and fifth stimulus. So you know the money you can get. So there you go. That is the wonderful details about fifth stimulus. Now let's turn back to fourth stimulus for the third of three updates, and this is perhaps the biggest one. I'll be going over the routing time, Q&A, personal impressions, also false narratives, and purple power. 5 things tonight on this afternoon's broadcast. First, personal impressions. You've been doing a good job. You have been pushing more. A lot of the psychic stimulus check network questions have sort of dissipated. Thank goodness. What I said yesterday, I'm going to continue to say it to the finish line, is that this is not the psychic stimulus check network. And your kitchen should not be it, your workplace, your friends on the front porch. No one should be running the psychic stimulus check network. What is that referring to? People who say, I don't think, I haven't heard, I don't know. What do you think? What do you predict? You want to gamble? You want to bet? This is not DraftKings. This is stimulus. This is legislation. You cannot roll the dice with these things and sort of guess about them because legislators make changes. As one viewer said, what does marking up the bill mean? It means someone wrote a draft of a bill and another person took a pen and started making edits to that piece of paper. That's what legislators do. And as they make edits, they may take out something you like or they may add in something you like. So understand, we have 2 emojis, well, 3 emojis on this channel. Not bill yet. It's not a bill yet. Not law yet. It's not a law yet. And donut, because you cannot sit back and guesstimate or predict or become a psychic about stimulus. Next, important message for you to understand is that if you're not a subscriber and you're not a member, at least subscribe because it's very important to understand what things are. Every day on Afternoons LATE or Evenings LATE, there's always someone who jumps into the chat who is neither a subscriber nor a member that's new and doesn't know what's going on and suddenly is firing away with questions. Subscribe and listen, because ultimately every question is always answered in this video. My favorite thing is yesterday on one of the shows, the first minute of the video started playing, someone said, well, how would 5th stimulus checks go out if there were 4th stimulus checks are going out? Wait till the video plays. You're going to see it throughout the entire time. There's a reason why the videos are 30 minutes long, are running extended lengths now, because there is so much data to go over. Next, please understand that when I tell you something's more money than something else, it's generally a lot more money. I can't be any more emphatic at that it is. So there are still people who are asking about SS200. Please stop asking about it. It's, at this point, sort of ridiculous. Why? Because the amount of money proposed under 5th stimulus is astronomically more money. Why would you not want 5th stimulus? It's astronomically more money. And finally, the important thing to note is that when we're going over all these details, it's important for you to laser focus on anything that is unclear for you so that I can clarify it for you. All right, so let's go now over the 9 voting steps. You have been great on understanding these 9 voting steps, and your response has been, when does they start, number 1? Number 1 is what the president's saying, start next week. The last step, number 9, is what Schumer said would be ending by July 4th. So let's go over the 9 steps. Number 5 and number 7 and 8 are the most important ones. Step 1, the House subcommittee calls a procedural bill vote. Step 2, House floor votes on the procedural bill. Step 3, the Senate votes on the procedural bill. Step 4, one, two, three, step four. The president signs the procedural bill. At that point, the tow truck has passed over the finish line. Time to go back and get that tow hitch, the substantive bill. Step five, here we go. The important first step. House subcommittee finishes marking up the substantive bill and calls it for a vote substantively in the House subcommittee. So that is where those House members, if they want to put those monthly stimulus checks in at the House subcommittee, that's where they put them in. Step six, the House votes on the substantive bill. Step 7 and 8, here we go. Two critical steps. Two-day vote-a-rama, Senate, where the senators receive the bill from the House and make amendments to the bill. Three possibilities of what could happen. One, House had no stimulus checks in there, senators can amend. Two, House had stimulus checks in there, senators are fine, they leave it alone. Three, House had stimulus checks in there, senators want to change something, and they do. And finally, step 9, the president signs the bill into law. Those are your 9 steps, which brings us to fake narratives. Fake narratives, for some reason, ironically, helped us. Why? Because they seem to have really pissed off the president. No joke. They seem to have really gotten him angry. Either that or meaning Vladimir Putin. The president got on a plane on I don't remember what day it was, Wednesday. And as soon as he got on a plane, a whole myriad of people he had never heard from suddenly tried to act like they were negotiators for him. It's just really tacky. Isn't that tacky? And try to act like they're negotiators for Mitch and the Republicans and Kevin McCarthy. They weren't. It's just very sleazy move. And so just the start of them doing that is sleazy. So what did they do? They reached no agreement, these people, and they had no authority to reach agreement on anyone. They are Ron Johnson, Ron Portman, the protagonista, and her telenovela out of Arizona, and Mitt Romney. So that and the problem creators. And I had told you Friday, Saturday, Sunday that these people, one, had no authority to negotiate on behalf of anyone. Two, they're not negotiating with anyone who has authority. They're negotiating with Republicans who are quitting, who are out the door. They're now no longer part of the Republican caucus. In fact, here's something you're hearing for the first time on Afternoons LA. We understand that the importance of the balance of power in the Senate, House senators who are Republican, senators who are Democrats. You have to think of how much Republicans dislike a Republican quitting, because it puts the balance of power at issue. That is why Bernie Sanders didn't take a position in the cabinet, because they didn't want to lose any balance of power. So the fact that these people who are in the negotiations room are quitting Republican senators, they're not even liked by their own Republicans, because they're putting the Republican balance in the Senate at jeopardy, so that the Senate seats could potentially be won by more Democrats. It's just anyway. And then finally, they got nothing done. So I told you all weekend long, ignore them. Well, what happened? I think it was one guy that really put the president over the edge. It's my guess, but it's my guess. And it's Ron Portman. Ron Portman yesterday came out and sort of talked about, and this and that and this and that and this and that. And then right after that, the president just sort of ripped into it and said, you know what? Stop this silliness. We're calling the vote next week on Recon. You can talk whoever you want to talk with. I'm talking with Vladimir Putin. Give me an extra Advil, please. But after that, you are calling the vote next Monday. I don't want to hear any more of this anymore. Do you think it was Ron Portman? I think it was Ron Portman. Why? Because Ron Portman desecrated, disparaged, went after every hardworking American in 2020, saying you're not entitled to any FPC. He never wanted you to have any FPC during the worst days of the pandemic, when it was ravaging out of control in July of 2020. He said, let's take away your FPC. You're lazy. You need to get back to work. What? Yeah, and that's the reason why he's out the door also. So that is why it's important to understand the fake narrative. I expect the fake narrative to continue all the way down to the finish line. Don't worry about it. Then we get to Purple Power and pushing. It's very important you push. Purple Power, you're doing a better job. Go on social media, hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. Tweet your Democratic senators, tweet your Democratic House members, tweet other states' Democratic House and Senate members. Make it clear. We need stimulus checks. Make your story clear. What's important to understand is that 2021 is not 2020. They may not think you need it if they don't hear from you. They represent your elected interests. And if they don't hear from you aggrieving the concern and the social issues and the economic issues of why you need a stimulus check, then they may think you don't think you need it. So you need to push. If you don't use social media, use the old-fashioned thing, the telephone. Pick it up and call their offices in D.C. Be respectful and polite and say hi. I think we're entitled to stimulus checks, and this is why I want them in there. And make it very clear your messaging. Write a letter. The opportunity window to push is right now. Pushing all the way every day down to the final hour. Because ultimately, this is not the stimulus check network. Sitting back and guessing and guesstimate doesn't work. Pushing works. And with that, I hope you join me next with Evenings LATE. It heats up at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So stay with this video. It'll automatically take you to Evenings LATE as soon as this video is over. Coming up next is Evenings LATE and then Overnight's Crypto. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful afternoon. Make sure you subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, hit that subscribe button. Like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.